Hey guys, it's Sin from Reddit Mutiny, bringing you the first of hopefully many How Would You Attack videos inspired by the Reddit post series. And this is the first video. Hopefully this proves educational for the people watching, and in particular really helpful for the people who I'm planning these for. For this week, we've got Bobby from the clan Smurfs and Turfs, and this is a bit of an unfortunate matchup for him. It's actually a very low weight war, him being the only Town Hall 9 in his lineup. There are 2 Town Hall 8s, 2 Town Hall 7s, and everything else is Town Hall 6 and below. And somehow he got matched against a Town Hall 11 that's, although pretty rushed, nonetheless has 2 Infernos, which can be pretty dicey to attack in as a Town Hall 9. So, first impressions of the base. The air defenses in particular stand out as really underdeveloped. All 4 of them are at level 4, and their placements are pretty awful. Very spread out. 2 together here, 1 here, 1 here. So the first thing that really came to my mind when I noticed this was that this whole area, this compartment here, has to be aired. Like, it's just too good to not incorporate that element, some part in the raid, possibly mixed with hogs, possibly as part of a back end. It's just really good especially because the king is also in that compartment. So you're essentially rendering the defensive king useless, and if there are any bombs there as well, then you nullify it. The only danger is if this sweeper does a bit too much work, and if there are Teslas in there. We're not too sure about what his Tesla's levels are. If the Teslas are level 8, then that might be a problem. But I'm not counting on them being level 8, simply because of how underdeveloped the rest of the base is. So with that out of the way, I started thinking about the rest of the raid, how it should start. Or even what the main attack should be. Should it be a pure ground hit, a pure air, or a hybrid? Now, Bobby in his post mentioned that he had a preference for ground attacks. So I thought about it a lot, and one thing that really caught my eye was this compartment here. Like, the fact that all the buildings there were adjacent to each other nicely without spaces means that it makes a very nice funnel for Valks. If you can break open the compartment here, the Valks will go all the way in, and I was thinking that you could probably drop a jump somewhere here so that they can take out the Inferno, take out the Queen as well, and the Expos. But what gave me pause against that plan was, first of all, there are no defenses in that raid compartment, so you can't bring in a tank in a sense of a golem or a giant. They just won't go in. So what's going to happen is your tanks are going to be stuck on the outside on either the cannon here or the archer tower here while your Valks go in, and that's going to open them up to quite a lot of damage. And the second thing that really worried me was, because the Queen was fairly close to the Inferno, if the Valks don't kill the Inferno and aggro onto the Queen, then they'll be under fire from 2 Inferno towers and all the point defense around the Queen chamber. So that's a lot of damage, and it might not turn out too well for them. So that forced me to scrap the plan and come up with another one. And I looked at the base closer, and I realized that one other trait of this base is that the point defenses are very spread out. Like, for example, you have this area here where there's a lot of point defense, and you have this area here. Basically 2 sort of almost like a Tetris piece, 2 Tetris pieces of point defense. And everything else wasn't really a threat. Like, you have 2 Expos here, but they're not really that big a deal at level 1 and level 2. The 2 Inferno towers are obviously threats, but they'll be dealt with in a manner that's different from other defenses, so it won't affect the plan too much. So I decided that against bases like these, you can really attacked it compartment by compartment, and this allows you to face only at most 4 to 5 defenses at one go, and that really increases the efficiency of your troops in terms of how much they take out for how much housing space. This is particularly true for queen walks. This is pretty much the entire principle behind it, that queen walks allow your queen to generate infinite value given time. That since she heals up after every encounter, and each encounter is small enough that they're not enough to kill her outright. So since Bobby had a level 20 queen, I decided that a queen walk would work. One other reason that made me confident a queen walk would work is because the tank buildings are all out of the way of the queen walk that I planned. Like, the storages are all here, if you notice, all in this area. So, and I was planning to walk around this area, so that gave me more confidence. The only high HP building she'll be facing is essentially the CC. So I planned the walk starting from the right side. The archer queen here, she'll start on the cannon, she'll go all the way here. And at this point I started thinking about how to deal with the Inferno. The Inferno was going to be a problem once the archer queen goes in, because I was planning for the archer queen to bust in here and charge into this area. Right? So the Inferno was going to be a problem once it blocked the heal. So I decided that it's probably worth it to zap quake it. And I'm very confident from past experience that as a Town Hall 9, you can zap quake a level 1 Inferno with 2 zaps and 2 quakes. But in my circumstance, I had level 3 quake and access to a max quake from the CC. So I wasn't too sure if it would work for level 1 quake for Bobby. So I ran the math, and the max quake and the 2 zaps should take it down to 115 health or 105 health. And the last quake should do about 60 damage. So the question here would be, is 40 remaining HP on the Inferno enough to trigger the instant kill mechanic once a building is below a certain percentage? I'm not too sure about this. I don't have the opportunity to test it because I don't know many people who have level 1 quake but level 6 zaps and have the time to search on matchmaking to test it. But I think it should work. But to be safe, I just planned assuming that he used 1 max quake and 3 zaps, which is a bit inefficient, but that would be safer. And I was banking on the queen to come in here and take out the key targets, being the 3rd AD and the queen. So she'll come in here and you'll drop a rage here to take out the expos, the queen, the AD. And from there the plan was for the lava hounds to come in from this side to tank the fire from the archer towers, and probably just another one here. Sorry, I'll draw that nicer. Probably just another one here. And from there you just Laloon the base as you normally would. And in particular, I would focus more loons on this side, just so that you can swarm the last Inferno tower and take it down. But then I thought about this plan more closely as well. One thing I really didn't like about this plan was it didn't utilize the king to get any value. And the king is probably the strongest part of Bobby's troops. Look at it, it's level 26. So I didn't really like it too much because of that. Because if you get a really close 2-star on an attack like this, where your king did essentially nothing, you'll be wondering to yourself, like, what if I got more value out of it? It probably would have been a 3, to be honest. And the other thing I didn't like upon looking at the plan closer was the queen walk pathing. I realized that this might be a problem, and let me go backwards a bit to explain. I realized that once the queen busts in to the CC compartment, there is a chance that she'll be taking out this. She'll take out this first when she goes in, then she'll take out the dark racks, she'll take out the gold mine, she'll take out the elixir storage. Next target will be the CC. And this is where the problem starts. I'm not exactly sure where the queen will be standing once she takes that out. I assume it would probably be somewhere around here while she fires at the CC. Her next target will be the mortar, and I am very worried that after the mortar is down, she'll start targeting this gold mine. Once she targets that gold mine, the next target is probably going to be the expo. After the expo, the dangerous part is if she targets this elixir pump right here, because if the queen position goes all the way to here, she can actually reach this elixir storage. And once she does that, I'm not sure if the dark elixir drill is close enough that she'll backtrack and get it, or she might start busting at the wall, especially since the quakes and zaps made the walls fairly soft. So I'm kind of concerned about that, and also because he's a level 20 queen, he needs to be on a really efficient path. So if he goes through this really long journey and starts locking onto an elixir storage of all things, it might cost him a bit too much time. Like, even if all that concern is for nothing, and the queen ends up taking the right path after the elixir storage and takes out the AD and the queen, he'll probably start his Laloon a bit late, and it might not get the 3 in time. So I decided to revise the plan a little bit, and I decided to keep the queen walk. The queen walk will still come in here, she'll still bust in here, come in, she'll take out the CC in this area, and from that point on, she'll be on autopilot, like, because the queen will basically be taking out this zone all on her own. And once you take care of the CC, there's not really any point defense aside from the 2 expos, which she can tank. So you can leave her on autopilot at this point, and you can focus on the rest of the base. We already know that the yellow area will be taken out by loons, so really the only area that you need to worry about, actually no, let's expand the yellow area a bit, because these 2 can be looned as well, because there's no air defense there anymore. So the only area left that you need to worry about the base is really this area in indigo. So I was kind of thinking, how's the best way to approach this? So a Laloon is ruled out simply because the Zap Quake leaves you with very little spells. You might not be able to rage them in time to reach the Inferno, and your queen might not take out the queen quick enough, so the queen might actually get quite a few decent shots at your balloons. So I was looking at this area, and it's just a very simple 2-layer defense. The point defenses are pretty under leveled, and I figured, hey, why not just do a golem wizard? This is basically the kind of portion of the base that your kill squad will be taking out anyway. So the plan is to send a golem here, which sadly might actually aggro his king and bring the king into action. I really didn't like that, but I guess it was a fair trade-off in my mind. So once the golem comes here, you can drop the wizards. I recommend bringing about, I calculated and I think he can bring about 9 or 10. And once the funnel's created, he can drop a jump spell here. Oh, that's a bit thick. Hold on. He can drop a jump spell here, to connect all the way into the queen chamber and drop his CC, which in this case I would probably recommend max giants, simply because they tank all the strands of the Inferno Tower. So this would be the CC and the BK. So I was looking at this plan and I was liking it quite a bit more than the La Lune one. And so now at this point is just the tweaking, the polishing of the plan to ensure that the plan doesn't go wary. So the dangers of deploying the golems on this base is that they might go sideways. Like this golem might go all the way here to the wizard tower. This golem will definitely go here to the archer tower. So before that part, you're gonna have to drop one loon here, one loon here, just to get rid of those two golem detractors. And probably have to drop an archer here just cause to get rid of it. No reason to leave it up because it might detract one wizard. And once the golem, wizard, and king go in that side, that's when the loons can start going in on this side as well. And that will probably clean up the base. In the meantime, bear in mind that the queen is still taking care of her area, and she'll probably have taken out anything worthy of note by then. And she'll be tanking both those X-bows, which takes off quite a bit of damage from your HWYA squad. And from there, I expect it to just be cleanup, really. Like the only thing that could mess this up is an unexpected Tesla farm or something like that. But I can't really see any spaces where it might be there. Yeah, for lack of a better word. So let's take account of the spell count here. There will be one jump required here. The Zap Quake, I'm not sure if anyone wants to test this on Reddit, or Bobby, if you want anyone to try this. But actually, I recommend you try it out in matchmaking. If possible, then get it down to 2 zaps and 2 earthquakes, which will free you to 2 elixir spell slots. With 2 elixir spell slots, you can bring a jump. You could bring a poison for the CC. Let me just mark it down there. Oh yeah, by the way, the CC is 25 space, and the last time I checked it, it was 5 out of 25. So it's most likely a balloon and a dragon. And I checked their troops as well, and no one seems to have level 4 dragons. So it's most likely going to be a level 4 dragon after the donation bonus. So a CC is gonna need a poison spell there, and I recommend just bringing a pocket haste, just in case there are any nasty Tesla farms or this sweeper, in case this sweeper is being too big of a bitch. So having a haste like somewhere here might really help out. Or if you're against having a haste, then consider bringing a poison just for the queen, because she'll be firing on your giants for quite a bit. So yeah, so that's the plan, and I hope this series proved educational for you guys in terms of the thought process behind scouting a base, planning an attack. For Bobby, I wish you all the best. I hope you 3-star this base. So okay, that's the video. I hope you guys liked it. This is hopefully the first of many series that's to come. I currently do war recaps, and recently this How Would You Attack video series on my channel, SZ Clash Raids. And hopefully in the future I'll bring out new content as well. I plan to bring out stuff like instructional videos, guides on how to do certain attacks, that kind of thing. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And thanks for those who have given me your support. Really thanks for it, and I really appreciate it. So till next time, see you guys.